What would you do if a joke gift sliced open the secret your family swore would never surface? Protect the people who hurt you? Or finally protect yourself? Comment below. Share? Or stay silent. The knife slid through my birthday cake, like a clean cut through a lie. Neat, quiet, necessary. The room applauded on cue. In my family, applause is theater, not truth. I'm Olive Crawford, 28, and tonight I made a wish I'm old enough to stop making, to finally matter. Gemma leaned in, perfect and practiced. My older sister always knew how to land a joke and an audience. She pressed a tiny box into my hand. Maybe this will explain why you're the family's biggest disappointment. Laughter flared, then softened into polite smiles. Inside the box, a DNA kit. I took it out of spite, not hope. Weeks later, an email arrived with a subject line that chilled the room around me. Urgent. Additional verification required. Before I could Google anything, my cousin Tyrese called. He'd been at my parents' house and heard my name whispered like bad weather. By noon, a calm voice from the lab asked if I had an estate attorney. That's when the floor moved under my feet. By 3, I was in the office of Paul Rose, the family lawyer from every holiday story I was never invited to finish. Dark wood, rain on glass, the kind of place where secrets feel at home. Paul opened a thin folder, like a curtain. Grandma Eleanor, sharp and underestimated, had filed a codicil 6 months before she died. She created a trust that could be opened only by a verified descendant through her maternal line. My DNA matched. Gemma's did not. The trust had grown to roughly 18 million, plus art and assets she'd kept completely separate. Then Paul slid me a letter. Cream paper. Eleanor's careful script. Child, I saw the way they made you small. This isn't just money. It's your freedom. Use it wisely. Don't let them take it. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Freedom is noisy when it finally arrives. The next day, we met as a family. The conference room felt like a verdict. Paul explained the trust, the safeguards, the reason the DNA mattered. Then he said the quiet thing out loud. Gemma and I share only one parent. Silence stole the air. My mother stared at the table. My father stared through it. Gemma demanded a retest. The results were already verified. 18 million belongs to Olive alone, Paul finished. My parents asked whether I would do the right thing and share. I thought of every birthday where surprise package meant afterthought. I said no. But winning a war you never asked for doesn't mean you know what to do with peace. I moved into a small penthouse with too much window and not enough sound. I blocked their numbers and redirected investments away from companies braided into my father's partners and my sister's clients. Not out of spite, but alignment. My money, my values. Ripples became waves. Calls returned. Angry, pleading, confused. You're destroying everything we built, my father said. I'm choosing where my money goes, I answered. Then came the gala. Crystal chandeliers, borrowed smiles, and a spotlight that found the ugliest truths with perfect aim. The auctioneer lifted Eleanor's vintage necklace, our family history reduced to a paddle raise. I bid, Gemma bid, whispers spread. When the room decided to make it theater, I offered the truth. Our great-grandfather stole. Eleanor spent 40 years making amends. My inheritance is the clean ledger she built in secret. The DNA didn't make me better. just accountable. I won the necklace. Gemma broke. People judged. They always do. So why did victory feel like an empty penthouse at 3 a.m.? Dawn. Tyrese arrived with coffee and honesty. He said, "You won, so why do you look like you lost?" Later, my mom called with no performance left in her voice. She apologized. Gemma was getting help. She and her father were separating. "Use it well," she said of the money, "but don't let it define you." The line went quiet, and for the first time in weeks, the city outside my window sounded human again. I opened Eleanor's journal. It wasn't just receipts, it was relationships. Names, notes, graduations, college references, small business loans repaid with interest and gratitude. On the last page, she'd written, "Power without purpose is noise. Build." I stared at that word until it stared back. So I started calling the families still marked partial. I set meetings, I created a restorative fund in Eleanor's name, I joined a hospital board that needed more than a check. I kept the necklace, not as a trophy, but as a reminder of where wealth ends and responsibility begins. The penthouse stayed quiet, but it wasn't empty anymore. If a joke gift cuts you open, you choose what scars into you. Revenge taught me how to say no. Responsibility taught me what to say yes to. Eleanor gave me money. The truth gave me meaning. The rest, I'm building. Would you have kept the fortune, shared it, or walked away from all of them? Comment your answer and watch till the end for more stories where a single decision rewrites a life.